All right, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy BA. I'm coming back with another video, and this time I want to talk about my new PC build. But before I get into that, just to let you guys know what's going on with this intro, BA Style was an intro I actually made when I was in college. Basically, all it is things that I like. For instance, as you guys can see, there's like a little outline of a guitar, you got a dirt bike in the background, audio equipment, things like that going on. So BA Style is basically just everything. I know it is a little old. I need to get a new background. But before I got into the video, I just want to let you guys know what BA Style was all about. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. We have the first picture here. This is the 2017 Craigslist build. So just to let everybody know real quick, I went and I was searching for a new PC. I've been wanting to build a new machine for so long. Finally got the Craigslist build, and basically I was just going through Craigslist one day. I saw this machine. Basically it's an AMD R7 1800X, 64 gigs of RAM, 750 gig hard drive. It didn't come with a video card, but I mean, just those specs alone were pretty amazing. Saw it for $1,200. The guy was listing it for $1,200. Now I knew I couldn't afford $1,200, but I actually went ahead and sold my previous computer that I had here in the studio at Branderson Media, and that was just basically just an AMD, a little quad-core processor, 16 gigs of RAM. It was DDR3, but you know, an older platform. I believe is an AMD 7850K, so it had the integrated graphics, even though I did have a dedicated graphics card for that system. So I went ahead and offered him to do a little trade-up, basically traded up for $650 in cash, plus that build. Plus, I included two 22-inch monitors that were, you know, included within the deal. So he definitely obliged and was like, yeah, you know, I'm cool with that. And I went ahead and went over to his place, and we did the switch. So as you guys can see in the build here, so the computer over to the right, the case, was just a little Intermax case, but as you can guys see, I have the side panel off. You can see everything that's on that case. And then I personally bought 3 of the new LL fans from 140 fans from Corsair. Those are the RGB fans. I also bought a Samsung 960 Evo, which is an M.2 SATA drive, or an M.2 drive, for just faster speeds, read and write speeds than an SSD can. Also went ahead and got the Corsair, I believe it's the Corsair Obsidian 750D. So full tower case. It has a lot of great features that I'm going to go over, but I just want to let you guys know, definitely put some money in. And at the top there, you can see to the right, the MSI R9 390 Gaming 8 gig card that I had in my previous build. So moving on to the next photo here, this is just a image of the computer that I had previously. I had a Fractal Design R4, I believe, is the case that this is, that you're looking at. Really good case, a mid-tower case that I had housing my old computer that I had here in the studio. So this is just the front. This is a door, so the door is actually obviously closed, but it does house inside, and I have a photo here with the door open. But I do have the CD DVD drive in there. It's actually a pretty good case, a quality case, made out of aluminum. Really no plasticky parts in the case. It was really easy to build in it. I had this case since about 2015 that I got this case. So like I said, it's been outstanding, a really outstanding case. So moving on to this next photo, as you can see, the top of the case here, and the top of the case essentially just has, you know, your front inputs. You have your headphone jack, your microphone jack, your reset button, your power button, 2 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s. You know, pretty good case. I actually did the G-Skill myself, put that sticker on there with the G-Skill RAM that's inside of the case there. But we'll go ahead and moving on to the next photo here, is a photo of the back of the case. Now, as you guys can see, I have 4 USB 3.0 ports, VGA, a DVI, 2 USB 2.0 ports, and an HDMI also is with that. Now, obviously, it was for integrated graphics. I didn't use the integrated graphics. I used a dedicated graphics card. But the biggest thing is the actual power supply that came with this machine was an Intermax. It was actually a Platinum edition, and fanless, by the way, 550 watt power supply, which was more than enough to power everything that was in this system. I actually loved that power supply, especially the fact that it was fanless. It was barely any noise, and especially when you're in an area, for instance, the recording studio that I have my new machine in here. But the recording studio, you want it quiet. And it was really cool being able to have this system and it be as quiet as it was. So go ahead and moving on to the next photo here. It's just basically the side panel here, as you guys can see. It's tempered glass. It's it is not tempered glass. I believe this is actually acrylic side panel on this case. But I had the you see, it's pretty empty, but I had the Cooler Master. Just everything air was just through the air. No water cooling. It was all air cooling. And I just had one fan blowing air through the case, so there's a fan in front. And then obviously on the CPU, and then blowing outside the case, there's an exhaust fan. So very simple, very basic when it came to the airflow. But the fans themselves were very quiet. Those are the stock fans that came with the actual case itself. I bought the case brand new. So stock fans, everything looked good, pretty clean, as you guys can see. The cables weren't, it's not the best cable management, but I think they weren't that bad compared to some other builds I've seen. But moving on into the next photo here, the next photo is just the front of the case without with the side panel door, or the front, I said side panel door, the front door open, and the actual CD DVD drive. And as you guys can see in the front there, that's actually a fan grill, so it stops and blocks dust, things like that coming in for the intake of the fan. And then instead of all that stuff getting in, you can go and clean that, and then put that back in. So that was a really nice feature. Also, there was a at the bottom of the case, there was a grill as well, a dust filter that was at the bottom of the case that you can take out, was removable. So that was really cool to have. Just another pretty awesome feature for this case. So moving on into this next photo here is a photo of my new rig. Now this is the Intermax case. It is a full tower case, but this is the case that came with the machine that I purchased from Craigslist. Very basic. As you can see, it has 3 5.25-inch bays there, for CD DVD drives. Now the really cool thing also was this case did come with a CD DVD drive as well, so I didn't have to replace that when I got rid of the old case over the old computer. You could actually remove, there's 2 fans. You can actually remove the front grill as well to clean, for dust and everything to not get up in there. Which was a nice feature of this case, but I really wasn't, I guess you could say I really wasn't about this case as much as I was the Corsair case that I got now, because there was just some things that I wanted to do with it. But moving on into this next photo, the next photo is just the top of the case itself. There is obviously 2 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s, a reset, a power button. Now the really cool thing about this was it did have its own little fan controller, so there's low, medium, high. You can control the fans that way, the case fan. So that was a really nice feature of this case. Obviously I never used it, but I did think, just seeing that was a pretty cool feature. Now moving on into this next photo, it's just basically the side panel. It was also acrylic. There's actually still the plastic over that. Once again, this is a very new build. The Ryzen 7 1800X actually just came out a few months ago, so in 2017. So the case and everything inside the case is less than a year old, which is really nice. Was definitely, for the price and what I got it for, I think was definitely worth it. Now just to let you guys know too, it didn't come with a graphics card. Obviously I had my own graphics card. I took the R9 390 out of the old computer and then put it in the new one here. But this next photo here actually shows the case itself with the side panel off. As you guys can see, we have the Cougar 1000 watt power supply CMX. Also, you guys can see the way that he had it laid out was the fan was blowing hot air from the CPU down into the graphics card. I didn't like that, so I definitely switched that around for the build. Cable management, as you can see, is a complete disaster. It's just everywhere on this case. I mean, it was, you know, it was okay, obviously, if you're not doing any overclocking or anything like that, but I knew for sure I had to clean that up as soon as I put it in the new case. So this next photo, it's basically just with the front grill off. As you can see, it did come with two 120mm fans. They were blue, so blue LED fans. I mean, it was really nice. I still have the case and the fans. I think I'm gonna get rid of the case and just keep the fans, just in case I would ever need them for anything. But the fans were fine. You know, it was not to my tasting. It's not exactly what I wanted, but yeah, it is what it is. But this next photo here was basically the CPU frequency, and I wanted to show you guys. So it's running at 3.6 gigahertz. That's just stock, not even with the turbo boost. And then the temperature of just idle speed is 43 degrees. Now, what I wanted to show this was because I went ahead and bought some Arctic Silver thermal grease, and I went ahead and reapplied that onto the CPU, took out the old, reapplied the new, and I wanted to see what kind of temperatures I would get once I was finished with everything that I needed to do. So this next photo here is a photo of the actual Corsair case that I purchased, and as you can see, it also has a front fan grill where you can clean, so no dust and everything like that goes into the fans and goes into the case. And it came with two 140mm fans. These fans are not RGB fans, static pressure fans. You know, it's very sleek. I really was drawn to this case right off the bat as soon as I saw it. You know, headphone jack, microphone jack, reset, 3 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s, and as you can see, going into that the next photo with the top of it, you can see there's a top grill for the fans. Now you can do water cooling in this case. I did not go with the water cooling route. If I really need to later on, I'll definitely do it, but it's really not necessary at the moment to do the water cooling. But as you can see, it will support you know, radiators, 140 millimeter radiators at the top there. So a lot of room. That was one of the biggest reasons why I went with this case, is just because it had so much room, and it wasn't as crowded. Now in this next photo here is just the back of the case. As you can see, just a 140mm fan shooting out the back there for the exhaust. Nothing special. You know, basic standard full tower case. Now for this next photo, it's just the side panel. As you can see, now it is also acrylic, so no tempered glass. It is a little bit of a downside, but still acrylic does the job. Now, as you can see, nothing's in the case right now, so I just want to give you guys a side shot of the case. Now here is a rear side shot of the case as well. As you can see, it's still sleek. I really like the sleekness of this case. It's just, you know, it's not too outstanding. There's nothing crazy about it, but it looks so professional, and it's, you know, quality aluminum. There's no, again, plastic parts on this case. It doesn't feel like it's cheap. You know, as soon as you grab it, it feels like quality, which is what I wanted for this next build. Now, this next photo is just with everything essentially kind of taken out. When you open up the side panel, nothing's obviously in the case. I went ahead in this next photo, I went ahead and just took a picture of the motherboard, what I was doing here. As you can see, I'm running the Asus Crosshair 5 Hero, or I believe it's 4 Hero, with the 960 Evo in there. And I went ahead and I switched out, well, going to switch out in this next photo. I'm actually taking out the thermal grease, and now everything, you know, with the CPU itself, all that old thermal paste and everything like that. Just had to get rid of it, put in the new. And in this next photo, this is actually me testing everything out. So this is just the R9 390 plus I switched the fan around, as you guys can tell. It's shooting the hot air up outside of the case instead of down on my graphics card. And also is just the power supply hanging out there. Now, I went ahead in this next photo, I went ahead and did a mod here for this next photo. And in this mod, I took out the fan. The reason why is the fan on this power supply is super loud, and I wanted to take it out because obviously this is going in a studio kind of concept, so I don't want the less noise the better, basically. So I wanted to go ahead and take that out. So I did that little mod, and then this next photo here, there's nothing inside the case. I went ahead and took out the drive, the fans, took out the drives. There was 2 drive bays. They were all removable drive bays, which I did like that feature as well. The 2 removable drive bays that you can use there. Now, this next photo is basically just the fans out of the case, the 2 front fans. Moving on in the back, the next photo in the back here, which is the 140 millimeter fan sticking out. And this next photo has the 2 LL140 RGB fans. As you can see, these are really great fans. I love them. That's all I can say. They work great. I love the different things you can do with the Corsair Link. I think that is an awesome piece of software. It's working just fine for me right now with the Corsair Link. Now, moving on into the next photo, these are the fans installed inside of the new case. Here's everything installed inside the new case. Now, cable management is a hot mess, but I just haven't gotten the actual fans plugged in. That's why it looks so bad. Here's the back panel. This next photo is the back panel of the case. As you can see, everything is just a mess, but nobody sees the back panel. And the next photo is a photo of the actual side, everything plugged in, fans plugged in, cable management ran. Still not exactly the best, but a lot better, even better than my old system when it comes to the cable management. And here's everything with the side panel on. As you can see, it's just so much more room, for that air to come in. Here is what it looks like in the back. This next photo, I have 8 USB 3.0, which is amazing. That's what also had the graphics card installed. This next photo has this front, with the actual dust filter on, with the new RGB fans from Corsair. So I'm going to go ahead and show here everything that comes with the Corsair Link. Essentially, you get the Lighting Node Pro if you order the 240 millimeter fans from Corsair. But I'm going to show you the Lighting Node Corsair Link, the Corsair Link software and everything that it can do. So as you can see, when it comes to the Corsair Link software, you have the rainbow colors. You can do a lot there. You have not only just the rainbow colors, you can shoot at different colors, whatever you want. This one here is the color shift. You can also do the color pulse with these fans. So as you can see, as it's going through, each one is shifting. And there's the pulse there. As you can see, it's pulsing just different colors, random colors. The next one is just the typical color wave. So they kind of go in a little wave around the fan with the colors. And that makes it really cool. And this next one is just the plain old static. So if you just want a specific color for all of your fans, or if you want to assign a fan a unique color, you can do that as well for the static feature. The next one is called temperature, actually. And in temperature, it'll actually go with whether you want, to choose like the temperature of the CPU, the motherboard. So it just gives you definitely some options. Usually you want, depending on how hot things get, you can assign at different temperatures of what color it is, or you want the fans to be. So that makes it really cool. This next one is called Visor. It's actually my favorite out of all of them. That's what I'm currently using now when I'm editing this video, and I really like Visor. You can see it just has the different colors, and the cool thing about these fans is they go in, starting from the hub and all the way to the outside as a different RGB arrangement. So that makes it really cool. This next one was called Marquee. And moving on to the next one, this one is called Blink. So basically, it blinks. And then this next one it shows is called Sequential. Now, Sequential is another one that I think is really cool. I think it may be one of the second favorite. You can have it start from the front. You can have it start from the back. And they just go in a sequential manner. Now, the next one is called Arc. And I like Arc. It's not as cool as, I think Sequential is, but it's definitely pretty cool. It's just amazing what kind of colors and things you can get from these fans. It's amazing. Now, as you guys can see, this next one is just called Heartbeat. You can change the speed of what it's doing, but the last one here is called Pong, and I must say Pong has to be, I want to say that's my second, but I don't have to go down a third, but I do like Pong. You can set it down to whatever speed you want. As you can see here, I'm going to actually turn the speed up. And you can kind of see how fast it goes from the front of the case to the bottom to all the way to the back. And that's basically the Corsair Link 9 Lighting Node Pro software. And like I said, great system overall, great build. It's working wonders here in the new studio. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, I appreciate all you guys for viewing the build log. I had a lot of fun building this machine, but now that it's all done, I definitely have more time to get things done when it comes to content. So be ready for more content. I'm definitely coming out with some new songs. Some new things are definitely coming down the pipe for Branderson Media. You guys have a great rest of the day. And remember, check me out on YouTube. My page is KTM KC Blue. Check me out on Facebook and check me out on Twitter as well. I'll have all the links down in the descriptions for you guys. Once again, have a great day.